Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve Rakin here. Welcome back to another live show. And today we're going to be talking about how to sell on Amazon. And specifically, we're going to be answering 21 of the most frequently asked questions when it comes to selling books on Amazon. So I've been selling books on Amazon almost 4 or 5 years now. I love selling books for many different reasons. Number one, for the most part, they're pretty cheap. Number two, they're really easy to store and to ship out to the Amazon FBA warehouses. And of course, the profit margins are absolutely amazing. And what's really cool is about 4 years ago, I got my mother, who's now 63 years old. I got her started selling books, and she recently retired, and now she's making a little over $1,000 profit per month. She does around, I don't know, anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 gross. Sometimes she makes more profit, sometimes less, but she loves it. She's retired now. She's passionate about it. So it allows us to be able to spend a lot of time together as well. So that's really cool. But that's a little bit about myself. Today, we're going to be answering the 21 most frequently asked questions. How did I come across these comments? I went through all of my videos that I created regarding selling books on Amazon, and I took all the questions down that you guys had. The top most common ones that I found are stopping people, holding people back, so on and so forth. So if you are lucky enough to be watching live right now, I want to welcome you to the show. And I would like to know if you're watching live right now. If you are, drop a comment down below and let me know that I'm here. Say I'm here, and let me know where you are from. So I'm going to check into the comments really quick, and we are going to get started with this show. We got Robin Marshall in the house saying, hey, Steve, from New Jersey, wheatgrass, yuck. I know wheatgrass shots are pretty gross, but they're good for you. Finally getting to tune in live. Awesome, Robin. We got Deb M in the house. What's going on? Yes, I do love my mother. She is crushing it. Lil Spray 3, what's going on? We got Tampa in the house. We got Desi. Awesome, awesome. So we got a bunch of people watching right now. If you guys are ready to rock and roll, I don't want to hold you guys back anymore. I've got these questions written down, so I am going to just jump right into it, guys, and try to add as much value as possible that I can. Okay, so let's get right into it. Question number one is, how long does it take to sell a book on Amazon usually? So this is a question that a lot of people who are getting started want to know. If I go and I invest money in these books, how long is it going to take? Well, it really depends. Just like anything in life, it's all about supply and demand. If you have something that's really popular and you price it right, it can sell very quickly. Now, that's all great and dandy, but what that means to you is you have to learn what data that you want to look at, which is going to help you to determine that. So there's something called a sales rank on Amazon, and I highly recommend downloading the Amazon Seller app. The sales rank is a number that essentially will communicate to you the sales velocity, how quick it's selling. It's pretty much kind of like the last time it sold, or how long it's taking to sell. So I'm going to dive a little more into sales rank, but how long is it going to take for a book to sell? It's going to depend on the condition, the market, how's your pricing strategy, because you can have the most popular in-demand book in the world. It could be like a hot-selling textbook, but if the market's asking $50 and you sell it for 80 because you're trying to wait to get top dollar, it may never sell. So there's a bunch of different factors that you're going to have to consider. But for the most part, those are the biggest ones: the sales rank, how popular it is, and your pricing strategy. I try to focus on books that sell within 3 months or less. As of late, my mother and I, because we kind of work together now, we really focus on books that are even faster sellers, a month or less. But we'll get into that. Question number two is, what sales ranks should you focus on? I was watching a video the other day by my good friend Reezy Resells, and he was talking about sales rank. And he mentioned if he invests in books that are 1 million rank or more, which is a pretty high rank, but it's not horrible, he's looking to make at least a $10 to $20 profit. And I agree with that. For the most part, I'm looking for books. Sorry, I got to get my charger isn't charging on my laptop. For the most part, I'm looking for books that are under 1 million rank. That tends to be the best. Hold on one second, guys. I don't know why my laptop isn't charging. I don't want it to die on you guys. All right, good. So for the most part, I'm looking for books that are under 1 million rank. And typically, if a book's under 1 million rank, it could be selling a couple times a month. That's just I'm just throwing a number out there. If it's under 500,000 rank, it could be selling 4, 5, 6, 7 times a month. Again, I'm just throwing numbers out there. This is just based on my experience. And if it's sub 100,000 rank, it's probably selling on a daily to everyday or every other day basis. Sub 10,000 rank, selling probably multiple times per day. So the higher the rank is, it's an indicator of the slower sales velocity. The lower the rank, the closer to zero, the faster that book is selling. So if you find a book that's a 10,000 rank, it might be okay for you to only make $3, $4 profit because you know it's going to turn. Whereas if you invest in a book that's a million rank or even a 2 million rank, which I still invest in some of the higher ranked books, I want to make sure, like Reezy Resells was saying, who's an awesome bookseller, you want there to be more profit because it could be sitting longer. It may never sell. And when that thing does pop, even if it's 4 or 5 months down the road, it'll be worth your time. So I try to focus on ranks under 1 million. Yes, I'll go up to 2 million, 3 million at times, but I'm looking for other factors to consider as well, such as the profit margins. Is there any social proof? How many feedbacks, reviews? Is the book in good condition? So those are definitely some things that you want to keep in mind. Hey, good to see you, Hands. We got Dirk in the house. What's going on, Indiana? Awesome, awesome. Okay, question number 3. If a book is in plastic wrapping as a new book, can you list it as new? Or should you take it out of the wrapper and sell it as like new? So this is a really good question. This is tricky because sometimes, like if you go to a consignment store to find the books, or sometimes even at like garage sales, people will like rewrap the books. They might have like one of those machines that rewraps it. So you got to be very, very careful. Sometimes a book is rewrapped if it came from like even like a secondhand thrift store, like a mom and pop store. Sometimes they rewrap them. So you've got to be very, very careful. The worst thing that you can do is sell a book as new and it's wrapped, but it's actually secondhand wrapping. So a couple things that you can look for is, number one, you can just kind of tell if it's like, if the wrapping just looks kind of sketchy and it doesn't look legit, like that's kind of like a red flag. And number two, if it's a textbook, a lot of times it'll come with like a CD inside and everything will be all aligned perfectly with the papers and stuff. And it looks like crystal clear. So there's some things to consider. But just be very careful. I always like to under promise and over deliver. I hate to over promise and under deliver because that's when you get a negative feedback and people get upset. So just use your own judgment right there. Question number 4, what type of Amazon account do you need? Or do you recommend starting with the business account or the individual account? So there's 2 different accounts you could start with when you're going to be selling on Amazon FBA. And I highly recommend that, Fulfillment by Amazon, which essentially means you buy the books, you bring them home, you ship them all out to the warehouses. When it sells, Amazon will pick it, pack it, distribute it, send you a check. So we're talking about Amazon FBA here. We're talking about, we're not talking about fulfilling things as a merch, but in general, the account that I would recommend getting started with is the free account. Okay. It's 100% free. The only downside to it is once you start selling over 40 books, it's actually going to cost you more money because they tack on an extra dollar fee for having the free account versus the pro account, which is $39.99 a month. You save that dollar fee. So once you start averaging about 40 books per month that you're selling, you're going to want to up it to the pro account because it's going to make sense for you financially. Question number 5, how come I visited 3 stores? I spent 5 hours, but I only found 5 books. Am I doing anything wrong? So to answer that question, let's start by saying it depends where you live. Not every single location in the United States and internationally, I just don't know. I live in the United States. I'm in Connecticut. Not every single area is going to have opportunities with books. If you live in a highly literate area with a bunch of colleges around you, there's a good shot you're going to have plenty of opportunities. If you have a ton of competition around you, they might be in the game. They might have been in the game so long, they've got relationships with the owners of thrift stores, so on and so forth, and they're wiping it out before you. So you've definitely got to consider these factors. But if you only, found 5 books, you might have went at the wrong time. I don't know if you're using a scanning app. I would highly recommend getting the Amazon Seller app or FBA Scan to allow you to scan faster. You could even get a Bluetooth scanner, which will allow you to even speed it up faster. than just using the camera on the phone. But there's a lot of different factors. Sometimes thrift stores are actually scanning their books. Like when I went to South Carolina, the thrift stores were scanning all their books before they put it on the shelves out to the public. So there was no good books. They were sending it all into Amazon themselves or selling as a merchant. So it may or might not be a good opportunity for you selling books, to be 100% transparent. But that's something that you're going to have to determine. And I'd recommend going out 5, 6, 7, 10 times, visit the garage sales, visit the thrift stores, visit the church sales, visit the library sales. Okay. Check out booksalefinder.com to locate different book sales and stuff around your area, but give it a shot. I can guarantee you there's probably an opportunity out there with books, but not everybody's going to have the best opportunity like we have in Connecticut. I'm lucky enough to live near Yukon, so we get a lot of really good books in the area. Let me dive into the comments real quick and see what's going on. What about selling books from library sales with the library stickers on them? I would peel them off. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next question. How do you label books to send into Amazon FBA? So every book, for the most part, is going to have a barcode on it. If it doesn't have a barcode, no big deal. But what you're going to do is you're going to purchase some labels. I believe the labels I have are 1 inch by 2 5/8. And what you're going to do is you're going to print out what's called an FN SKU. And this is a label that you're going to put over the original barcode on the book. And essentially, you're going to label all of the books, put them in a box, and send them off to Amazon. The reason why you're labeling it is because when Amazon gets these books, they're going to scan that FN SKU label that you printed out. And it's pretty easy to do once you get the process going through the Amazon platform. It's going to tell Amazon what you priced it at, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much all you got to do. You list your books, and it's going to give you a label to print out on each one. Make sure to get those labels, and then you stick them on each one of the books. Do I need any special software to sell books on Amazon? Scanning apps, listing software, so on and so forth. So you don't need, like, it's not 100% necessary that you need any apps at all, but I would highly recommend getting the free Amazon seller app for sure. That's essentially going to give you the ability to scan barcodes, and it's going to tell you how much the books are selling for, how much profit you can make after you input all your data, the sales rank, if there's any reviews on it, if the book is restricted, because some books at Amazon actually doesn't allow you to sell. So I would definitely recommend getting the Amazon Seller app. That's a beginner scanning tool, perfectly fine. But if you invest in any tools like a Bluetooth scanner, which we're going to be talking about, you might want to invest in a more advanced scanning software like FBA Scan. Okay. And that'll allow you to set up triggers and different automations, and it'll allow you to use a Bluetooth scanner with the software that allows you to scan. Another thing you're probably going to want to invest in is some type of bookkeeping software to make sure that you track all your inventory, profits, so on and so forth. I've used Inventory Lab in the past that's a listing software, but for bookkeeping, I've used GoDaddy bookkeeping, and now I'm on QuickBooks. So those are some softwares also to give you an advantage at analyzing deals. You can look at camel.com or Keepa, and these are going to give you different data points such as like sales history and price fluctuations. So definitely check that out. Question number 8, how are the margins on books? The margins are really good, but you've got to go after the right books. The fees on Amazon are quite substantial, which means if you find a book that's only selling for $12, there's a good chance you're not going to make anything, maybe $1 or $2. So I try to focus on books that are selling for at least 15 to 17 now. And the sweet spot is finding those $30, $40, $50 books. That's how we make most of our money. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Steve, how the heck am I going to find $50, $60 used books? Again, it's going to depend upon where you live. We live in a pretty highly literate area. There are quite a few colleges surrounding us, so we get a lot of textbooks. But you just got to scan. The more books you scan, you're going to find opportunities. And there's a lot of books out there that sell for 20, 30, 40 bucks, believe it or not. Even books that had an MSRP of 15, 16 bucks, back in the day, because it's supply and demand. People want those books. They don't sell them at the store anymore, and you're the only one who has it. I went out thrifting today with my mother, and we found this really weird psychiatrist book. It was like from like the 80s. It was selling for like $40 and had a really good sales rank. It was like 700,000 ranks. So, I mean, it's not phenomenal, but it's solid. There's books out there. Again, not everyone's going to have the same opportunity as I do or vice versa, but just scan, and you will find opportunities. Best way to peel the annoying stickers from Goodwill and Savers off of the books. So yeah, if you're thrifting books at Goodwill, you're going to get hit with a bunch of different stickers that are on your books. Sometimes my Goodwill puts on like 10 stickers. They're crazy. Savers, they have the bigger stickers, which are sometimes harder to peel off. I'd highly recommend going on Amazon and getting something that's called a Scotty peeler. Okay, Scotty peeler. You can get one for like $7 or $8. They usually come in a pack of 3. And it's these little, I don't know, devices with a sharp little end, like a knife, and you just peel off the sticker. So that'll definitely save a bunch of time. Do you still use Inventory Lab? And if so, don't you use Scout IQ or don't use Scout IQ? Yep, we still use Inventory Lab. Well, I do. Mama Profits, my mother, she doesn't use Inventory Lab. I don't use Scout IQ, but I was just talking to one of the owners of Scout IQ the other day, and I'm going to be bringing him on the channel, and we're going to be talking about the software and selling books, so on and so forth. So I don't know much personally at this time about Scout IQ, but I've heard really good things. And Scout IQ it's a scanning software as well. I'm not sure if it has any other capabilities. Hey, Manny, appreciate you stopping by. Good to see you. So it looks like we have a troll in the comments. Where is the troll? Somebody help me out. I'm looking for the troll. I don't see the troll. Is it the guy singing songs? Let's put this guy in timeout. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. How much are storage fees for about 20 textbooks that are all under rank 100,000? It's not much. I'm not exactly sure what the storage fees are. If you just type in Amazon storage fees, you'll be able to see like the calculator and stuff. For books, it's really not that much. What you want to worry about is the long-term storage fee, which I believe is after 6 months. So it's really not going to be enough to really take much money out of your pocket. Haha, banter. For 20 books. It's really not. So I wouldn't worry about it. But if you have them sitting for 6 months, a year, then it's going to add up. It could be a couple bucks, $3-5 a book after that, which could just slaughter your margins. Question number 10. What if the book doesn't have a barcode or even an ISBN number? So sometimes you're going to come across books that look very interesting and you're going to be like, there's no barcode. How do I scan it? How do I analyze it? There's a couple of things you can do. You could actually just type in the title. So you could go on to your scanning app and just type in the title. A lot of times you could find it that way. Also, if you use the Amazon Seller app, they have a proprietary capability, which allows you to actually like scan the cover. So it like kind of like takes a picture or reads the cover. And a lot of times you could find the listing that way as well. Let's see. What do we have for the next question? Where are the best places to get higher volumes of books? So, obviously thrift stores, but not everybody's going to be able to get a high volume of books. I don't know what that means to you. For us, a lot of times we only find 2, 3, 4, 5 books at a time at thrift stores. And you might be thinking, Steve, like that sucks. Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest, but today we went out, we found like 7 books and we made like $160. So it's not bad at all for an hour and a half. And I got to hang out with my mom and have fun. So if you're looking for higher volume, probably Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, LitGo, trying to find somebody who's just giving all their stuff away. Church sales, garage sales at times, and book and library sales, probably the best, but you're going to have a lot of competition with that. Best Bluetooth scanner. So what is a Bluetooth scanner? A scanner is something, it's like this little thing that you hold in your hand and you scan the books and then the Bluetooth will shoot the data. The technology will shoot the data to your phone. So it allows you to be hands-free. You could scan books a lot faster. Instead of relying on the camera on your phone, you rely on a laser. So it just reads the data and scans books much faster. The best ones, I know the KDC 200i is really good. KDC 200i, I believe they're for around like $50. Not sure where you can get one. And I have a scan fob, but I'm not a high volume bookseller. So I just use the Amazon Seller app. and use my phone because I'm kind of picking and choosing. And I know the books at my thrift stores really well. So I'm just going after like the newest books and just picking and choosing. But if you're scanning through everything, maybe a scan fob or a KDC 200i. What's your average book sale profit for a month? What's your average book sales profit for a month? And how many books do you have at FBA? So right now we have, we only have about 200 books at Amazon FBA. I'm not actively selling books right now. Like pretty much when I find books, I just give them to my mother. I've got a bunch of other businesses going on right now. So pretty much everything's just going through my mom's account. Like I said before, she's making anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 a month profit. Sales could range anywhere between $2,000 to $4,000 plus. So it's anywhere between a 25 to 50% margin. I'm not exactly sure of the numbers right now, but the margins are pretty good. Average book is probably selling for, I don't have the number off the top, but somewhere around like $25. Okay, cool. Let's go. Keep going through this list, guys. How many people do we have watching right now? How many people do we have? I'm just looking to see what's going on. We got 60 something people in the house. Cool. So appreciate you guys joining in on a, what day is it today? Today's a Thursday. Hey, I want to let you guys know before we keep going, we got a bunch of questions to continue answering. Tonight at 7 p.m., I am actually going to be on a live webinar with my good buddy, Steven Summers. And I had Steven on the channel about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. And he shared his journey of how he went from literally broke. He was working a 9-to-5 job to doing about $12 million sales on Amazon. Now, he's not selling books. He's actually doing something that's called private label, which is a really cool, interesting, scalable business model. So if you're interested in books and you're looking for a way to be able to scale your operations, definitely check out the live webinar tonight. It's private, so you do have to sign up. It's 100% free, but it's not going to be live on YouTube. You have to actually sign up for it, and we send you a link. So if you go down into the description, the link should be rakinheroes.com. So that is going down live tonight at 7 p.m. We do have a lot of people already signed up for the webinar, so there is a 200 cap limit with the software we're using for the webinar. So sign up for it, 7 p.m. tonight. It's going to be with my friend Steven Summers, great guy, and I think you'll really enjoy that. So rakinheroes.com, be sure to check it out. Paul Davis has already signed up, looking for it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. D. Cotto saying, smash that like button. Steve's dropping bombs. Appreciate it. Be Rich is a new subscriber. Everybody give a shout out to Be Rich in the house. Haha Banter is saying, why are used books more priced than the new books on Amazon if they are not FBA? So that's a good question. It's just people's pricing strategies, essentially. Some people are pricing, like, for example, some people are just pricing based on the competition. So they're not looking at the new prices. Also, sometimes Amazon will come in and undercut everybody, and then it kind of like creates this avalanche effect on the new, and then the used don't really fall as fast. So it's kind of weird. I usually, when I list my item and I price it, I'm trying to look at the new price and price my used obviously a little cheaper, even if it's $1 or $2, because it just makes sense. All right, let me get back over to the questions, guys, and let me keep answering them for you. Okay, here's a good question. How do I scan books if I'm at a thrift store or at a garage sale or at a church sale and there's no internet? So that's a really good question. Just imagine yourself being at a thrift store or a garage sale and you're all pumped up, you're ready to rock and roll, and you take out your Amazon seller app and you scan the book and it just loads and loads. You're like, I can't believe this. So in that case, if you just have the Amazon seller app, you're pretty much screwed. If you use the FBA scan software, I don't use it anymore. It's been a while. I believe it's FBA scan. Someone help me out. But they have a database, offline database that you can download. So essentially what it does is you go into the software and you download the whole entire Amazon catalog. I don't know. It takes a little bit of time. You would obviously do this in advance. And now you have Amazon's information on your phone in a offline stored database. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% accurate because prices are always changing. But if you don't have internet and you have the FBA scan, you can actually turn it on to offline database mode, and you could scan, and it could definitely save your ass if you're in a pinch. Okay, question number 14, and these are I copied and pasted questions, so I'm just reading it. Say, is it possible to get kicked off of Amazon FBA for selling books like I have heard it is for selling other items? If it is, how possible is it on a scale of 1 to 10? So this person's concerned about people getting kicked off on Amazon, which is obviously, a reasonable concern. People get kicked off on Amazon all the time. It's not like eBay. It's not like Craigslist. There's rules that you have to follow. The biggest thing is if you're not taking care of the customers, if your descriptions are inaccurate, if you're not shipping on time, if you're just screwing things up, the biggest thing is, not describing things accurately, creating a bad customer experience. Amazon will kick you off. So, what are the odds 1 through 10? 1, you're never going to get kicked off. 10, you're getting kicked off tomorrow if you sell books. It's probably like a 2 in all honesty. If you're going to sell electronics, you're probably at like a 5 or a 6. But yeah, I mean, it's possible. But at the end of the day, just, make sure that you under promise and over deliver, right? Under promise and over deliver. So you have a book, it's in good condition. Don't say it's like new. Okay. You don't want to piss customers off. You want to make them happy. At the end of the day, when you sell a book on Amazon, the customer's not like, oh, wow, Steve Rakin, he's so awesome. They're like, this is great. I love Amazon. You've got to remember when you're selling on Amazon, you're representing Amazon's brand. So if you create a bad customer experience, and there's a million different things you could do wrong, they're going to get you. They're going to kick you off. So the odds of you getting kicked off are pretty low. Just make sure to follow the rules. Make sure to read the terms of service. Question number 15, how old can the textbooks be to buy? So this is a great question. If you're at a thrift store, garage sale, so on and so forth, looking at textbooks, I typically am looking at textbooks that are 1 year to 3 years old. Any textbook that's usually 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, for the most part, 90% of the time, they're not going to be worth freaking anything at all. Like you'll probably lose money on them, from my experience, about 90% of the time. Now, there are those rare instances where a book, for some reason, just holds its value. But for the most part, I'm looking for newer textbooks, 1 year, 2 years old. I mean, if you went to college, you know how it is, guys. It's an absolute scam. I mean, they literally just keep creating the same book over and over again, a new edition, and then force the students into buying it. It's so freaking messed up. These poor college students are going into crazy debt, buying these books, like literally selling books for $400. Probably cost them like $6 to print from China. So it's craziness, but that's just how the game is, unfortunately. Question 16, when you sell books, do you polybag them and put them in a box to send to Amazon, or do you send all the books without them? So 99% of the time I am sending the books without a polybag. I'm just stacking them up. I'm labeling them, putting on the FN SKU label, putting them in the box and shipping them off. Now, when you ship it off, make sure the box is less than 50 pounds. Back in the day, a couple of years ago, you were able to ship in boxes that were over 50 pounds and you'd have to write team lift on the side. Now they've changed the rule to the point where they don't even want you doing it. They'll suspend your account. But yeah, for the most part, I just stack them up and ship them off. If a book is in really good condition, or sometimes a book will be really fragile, it might just be like a really big book, and you could just tell if it flips around and the book's, it's just going to tear open. Or if it's just flimsy, maybe I'll polybag it. But for the most part, I'm not polybagging any of the books. James Pace says, I'm majority merchant on Amazon with almost 8,000 items, mostly media. I do pretty well. Congratulations. So it looks like James Pace is doing a great job. Eric is saying, everyone smash that like button. I appreciate that, Eric. So if you guys are enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know that you're enjoying this. Steve, I like that large board behind you. Great for goals and tasks. Yeah, so I got a whole bunch of stuff in this board. My morning routine, night ritual, my 2018 goals, different thing for one of my Shopify businesses that I have going on, some affiliate marketing, product launches, different things going on over there. But yeah, I love it. It's freaking awesome. Paul Davis just made a good statement saying, when you're selling books, if you describe honestly, you're good. Exactly. Under promise, over deliver, or just describe accurately. Is there a method for choosing books? For instance, do you do research as to which books sell for the most, or is there a market for any and all books you can get your hands on? Yeah. So for the most part, there's a market for all books. I try to stay away from like the mass produced books. So like a lot of the books that like, if it's just like at every single bookstore and like everybody knows it, like 50 Shades of Gray, like for the most part, they're not worth anything unless you find like a box set. But I try to stay away from like the mass produced books. But for the most part, any book could make you money. I'm looking for textbooks. I'm looking for weird, obscure, unique, really niched down books like horseback riding, how to build an aquarium, just weird, unique books. But for the most part, I'm not trying to play God, right? I'm not trying to say this is good and this is bad. Like I use the Amazon scanning functionality, Amazon seller app, to make the decisions for me based on the selling price, how many sellers, the profit margins, the reviews, but mostly the sales rank, right? And the profit margins. And I'm using the data to decide if I should buy a book or not for the most part. I'm not guessing. I'm not using for the most part, I'm not really using my knowledge. I'm just scanning books. It's pretty simple. Let's see. Okay. Question number 18 is, actually question 17, then we'll get to 18. 17 is, aren't books outdated as everything is on electronics now? Is this a good long-term strategy? So that's a great question right there. Why would you get into a business that revolves around something that's outdated? And it's true, books are somewhat outdated, but here's the thing, guys, like, how everybody's like, who goes to stores and buys stuff in the physical form anymore? Like everybody shops online. Like you think that everybody shops online. You think that everybody is just like listening to audiobooks and podcasts and like digital downloads. But like in terms of like online sales, it's only 10%. And I don't know the statistic for like digital versus paperback or like physical books, but there's a lot of people. There's millions and millions and millions of people who still read physical books, collect books. I mean, just textbooks alone. I mean, you know what I mean? So there's definitely a huge opportunity out there. I'm not super worried about it. Maybe 20 years from now, we'll have to worry about it, but I wouldn't go too deep into that right now. Question 18, I was laughing because I was just talking about it. Why do people like weird books? I think it comes down to supply and demand. The weird books I've found, like the really like odd ones, like, how to exercise in your 70s, like something weird like that. Or like, I remember there was a VHS tape that was all about like grandmothers doing cardio. It was like some like, I don't know, cardiovascular program. Like it was going for like $100 back in the day. I think the weird things do really well. I think there's like because of like the collectible side, like there's not a lot of them produced, you know what I mean? And people might collect them. But I think really it's just like supply and demand. There's not a ton of them available. They weren't like mass produced. And I think, when somebody's looking for something very, very specific and there's not a lot of them and they want it, you have better control over the pricing. So I think that's why weird books sell well. Question 19, can I sell books if they are in really bad condition? So let's say you find a book and there's highlighting all over it. Maybe there's a page ripped in half. Maybe the cover is all dirty and messed up. Can you sell books that are in really bad condition? The answer is yes, but you're going to have to be willing to risk your account. People on Amazon, for the most part, I would say don't read the descriptions. So they might order a book and they might not even look to see if it's an acceptable condition, because you could rate a book acceptable, good, very good, like new, or new. If you sell a book in really bad shape, there is a chance that someone's going to get pissed off at you and complain and give you a negative feedback. Now, there are ways that you can remove negative feedbacks. So I would say yes, but are you willing to risk your account for that? And is it worth your time? Okay. I'm not going to buy a crappy, beat up, destroyed book. You know what I mean? I'm not going to buy a beat up, destroyed book, and it only makes me $3 profit. So make sure, there's enough money to be made. Make sure the rank is decent as well. Question number 20, what if I find a textbook that's missing the CD? Can I sell it? So some textbooks are going to come with CDs, videos, different things like that. Can you sell it? Yes. As far as I'm concerned, I sell them. I just make sure to put it in the description. And a lot of times I'll sell it as acceptable because I want to, again, under promise and over deliver. Even if they don't see the description, I want to have that there in case they ever contact me like, what the heck? You didn't send the CD. Hey, listen, I put it as acceptable. I put it in the description, and hopefully that takes care of it. And the last question is, how do I bundle books together? Is it possible on Amazon? So let's just say you find a set of Harry Potter books. This is a good example. If you find, what is it, like 7? There's this one set that goes for like $100 on Amazon, I think. It used to, at least. Say you find these 7 books and there's actually a listing that's already created on Amazon. How do you send them in? Do you sticker each one? What do you do? Actually, what you do and what I do is I put them all together in a bundle, and then I just wrap it up in that little plastic wrap, make sure it's all secure and it's a single unit, and then I put the FN SKU on the outside. So hopefully these questions helped you and added value. I just want to come to you guys and answer these questions, help you out as much as I possibly can, because I know a lot of you guys want to start making money online. You want to start building your business, but you're just not sure how to get started. So hopefully this video was able to take some of that, that guessing game out of the mix, maybe help you to answer some of the questions that were holding you back, and can really put you in a place to start taking action now. There's definitely a lot of opportunities out there with books. Like I said before, you may or may not have as good of an opportunity as I do in Connecticut. You might have a better opportunity, okay? You've got to go out there and experiment, go scan some books, go get started. I mean, you can get started really on a shoestring budget and learn quite quickly if it's going to be a good fit for you or not. So I'm going to go into the comments real quick and shout some people out and answer any other questions. And also I want to mention, guys, if you're looking for like a step-by-step program to be able to just do this whole entire process, because I know it's a little overwhelming. Like, I didn't even talk about how to ship. I didn't even talk about like analyzing the seller app. I didn't talk about like grading books and pricing strategies. Like, I touched on a little bit of them, but there's like probably like 60 or 70 other things that I could touch on. If you're looking for a step-by-step program, my good friend Jim Pickens actually has a course. The course is only, I think it's like $97. It's really cheap, but it's freaking amazing. It's got like, 50 plus videos, private membership, whole bunch of good stuff. I'm an affiliate for it. I back it up all day long because it's amazing. There's been hundreds of people who have gone through it and tons of success stories. So if you go into the description, if you go to rakeandprofit.com/bookselling 101, you can check that out. And that'll walk you through like step by step. It's updated for 2018. And there's a lot more advanced stuff in there as well if you're really looking to scale. So if you're like watching this, you're like, okay, well, like, what's the next move? I'm sick and tired of like just like doing this and doing that. And like, I want like a step-by-step concrete plan. Definitely go check that out. I think you will enjoy it. The Savvy Seagull says, I scanned a couple books after that and sold both for over 100 using the Book Scouter app. I like it better than the Amazon app, but I'm still open to the idea again. Cool. Wow, that's awesome. So ended up finding a couple books, sold them for over 100 buckaroos. Got to love that. Yeah, Brian G says game guides sell well. Yeah, we found, what was that? I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. If not, follow me on Instagram at Rake and Profit. My mother and I, we went to a garage sale. This is probably like 3 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember what the heck the name of it was. But if you look back a couple weeks ago, we found these books. They were these game guide books, and they were selling for 50, 60, 80 bucks each. It was remarkable. Pretty cool find right there. So definitely check me out on Instagram. We're always posting books and stuff like that. If you want to follow my mother as well on Instagram, you can follow her at Mama Profit. Mama Profit. So she's always sharing the books that she finds as well over there. What is a good sales rank and profit margin for books? I try to stay under $1 million rank for the most part, like as a general rule. If you want to be safe, 100,000 to 500,000 is a really solid rank. I try to make at least $5 profit per book. If you're going over $1 million, I would look for at least a $10 to $15, $20 profit, just because it's going to be a little bit slower of a seller. Savvy Sequel says, hey, everybody, I like Amazon, had some books on there, but competing against the big sellers was hard. Mine sat for a long time, took them off, willing to try again, but you need a credit card. So yeah, I mean, it just takes time. That's why I was saying, check out Jim's course, Book Selling 101. He goes through various pricing methods and strategies, because if you have no idea what you're doing with pricing, you are going to get taken out by the big guys. You've got to have a strategy in mind for pricing. And that's going to be a whole nother video. That would be like another 15-minute conversation there. But definitely check that out. And yeah, you've got to have a correct pricing strategy. So it looks like that's pretty much it right now, guys. I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. So I just want to thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video talking about the 21 most frequently asked questions regarding getting started selling books on Amazon FBA. If you guys do have any more questions, all you got to do is ask down below, and I'll probably make another video soon answering any more questions that you guys had. If you want to get started selling books on Amazon FBA, you can check out my channel, Rake and Profit, for more videos. I've got a whole bunch of videos. If you're looking for a step-by-step program, be sure to check out Jim Pickens' course. It's the second link down below, rakeandprofit.com/bookselling101. And if you guys are available tonight, we have a private live webinar going on with my friend Steven Summers, talking about how he scaled his Amazon business to $12 million. It's going to be really fun. He talks about international selling, and he also talks about how you can start to acquire low competition products that you don't have to compete with the big dogs. And sometimes on Amazon, it's just crazy. So like how to find low competition products to scale your business. So that's going on at 7 p.m. tonight. It is private, so you're going to have to go sign up for that at rakeandheroes.com. It is the first link down below. So I will be on that call tonight. So be sure to check that out. It's going to be for a limited time only. It's not going to be live on YouTube. It's just something special that we put together. So definitely go check that out. Reggie, Tyrone, appreciate that. My wife loves your videos, watching with her. What's going on? Good to see you. Reggie's wife. Chris, thank you so much. Appreciate you watching. Danto, appreciate the love. Thank you. Thank you. Chris is asking, how do you find the book sales rank? Just download the Amazon Seller app. It's free, and it's a barcode scanner. When you scan the app, it's in the top right-hand corner. Jack, Eric, appreciate you. Island Girl, thank you. Thank you. So that's about it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Check out the links down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day. Bye.